Back in 2009, Domino's Pizza. Many of you have probably had Domino's Pizza, or you've at least heard of Domino's Pizza. They're one of the biggest and most prominent pizza chains in all of the country. They still are. But in 2009, what you may have forgotten, or maybe didn't know, was that Domino's was actually on the brink of extinction. So if you like Domino's Pizza today, they almost didn't exist. Even though at the time they were providing really fast delivery in the pizza business, they were known as the speedy delivery company for pizza, and they were doing some really other innovative things as well. They were the first in the industry to introduce mobile ordering, something that we take for granted today, the ability to order pizza right from your phone. They were one of the first to gamify the ordering process. They tried to make it fun by providing games inside of the app so that you would come back and use it more. They were one of the first to allow us to track our orders. So from the moment that you place the order through the app, you could actually track the process of the pizza that you ordered. So from the moment that it was being prepared and then delivered all the way to your front door, they were one of the first to allow us to be able to do that. However, through all of this technology, the fast delivery, all of this wasn't enough to keep Domino's healthy. You see, they had built their whole brand around fast and reliable delivery, and they had succeeded in that, but that wasn't enough. Because in all of their success, there was one major problem. Even though it was convenient to order the pizza through the app, even though maybe you thought it was fun to order the pizza through playing the games on the app, even though that you would get your pizza really quick, they would be there really fast, there was a problem. And it was a very major problem. And that problem was the pizza itself. See, when it came to the taste of Domino's Pizza, and that's why we get pizza, right, for the taste, Domino's actually tied with Chuck E. Cheese as the worst tasting pizza. I think we all realize that you don't go to Chuck E. Cheese for the pizza. Chuck E. Cheese isn't really about the pizza at all. Domino's CEO Patrick Doyle said that anyone who wanted fast, convenient pizza, well, they're ordering from us. They're getting their pizza from Domino's. But then there's the people who want really good pizza, and they're not ordering from Domino's. So today, here's what I want to do. I want to talk about the business of bad pizza and how to do the right thing when everything is wrong. Welcome to the Mind Your Business podcast, the podcast for whatever business is on your mind. Let's get started.
Well, that's excellent.
Well, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Mind Your Business podcast. Hey, if this brings value to your life, will you do me a favor? I want you to like, subscribe, and share this with as many people as possible. That way we can make a difference to as many people by adding value as we possibly can. The taste and quality of Domino's had such a bad reputation that when Domino's would actually run their own consumer test, they found that people would like the same pizza less if they knew it was from Domino's than if they thought it was from another pizza chain. So basically, people like Domino's even less when they knew for a fact, without a doubt, that it came from Domino's. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that's really bad for a business brand. The Domino's story, it could have ended right there, like so many other iconic brands that have died this disastrous death and then just disappeared. However, it was through really great leadership decisions that today they're stronger than ever. So I want us to learn from their experience. I want to look at what Domino's has gone through and the leadership decisions that they demonstrated that I think can add value to your organization or to your life. One of the most valuable things we can do is we can learn from the mistakes of others so we don't have to repeat them ourselves. And so Domino's have given us a great blueprint at some of the leadership decisions that they have made that help them to overcome almost the extinction of the Domino's brand. And so I want to give you 3 of those today. And the first is that they were listening. Domino's listened to the feedback from their customers. Now, I recognize that listening seems fundamental, right? I mean, at least it should be. Listening to customer feedback, it's valuable. It can provide you information like your areas for improvement. that you can improve. It gives you their pain points or their frustrations that they're experiencing as your customer. And ultimately, it gives you insight on what's working and what isn't working, and that's from their perspective. And I think that's important because sometimes we can get our own perspective in the lens in which we see something when your customers actually may have a very different perspective on their own. And most importantly, not only does it provide you information that helps you get better as a person or as an organization, but it actually demonstrates on your part a genuine commitment to their satisfaction. By you allowing feedback and by you asking for and welcoming feedback from those who are around you, it's a signal to them. It actually communicates that you're concerned about their satisfaction and concerned about how they feel. Again, this is another aspect that really should be fundamental to most of us, especially in our organizations. But some reports actually show that 75% of customers don't feel that businesses listen to their feedback at all. They don't feel valued that that the businesses they do business with, they want to hear from what they have to say. They don't feel like it matters to you that they are having a bad experience or that they have input or they want to add value to their very own experience. So I would ask you this question as a leader: are you listening to the feedback in your organization? Or as an individual, are you listening to feedback in your very own life? Now, many people choose not to listen, and there's many reasons that we choose not to listen. One of them is because we just really don't want to know. We don't want to hear the bad news. We don't want to hear anything negative. And after all, we like to say it this way: what you don't know can't hurt you, right? Well, we all, if we're honest, we know that this couldn't be farther from the truth. Many people don't listen because they wouldn't know what to do with the feedback if they did. There really isn't a clear system or a strategy, a process to deal with the feedback that they receive. So if they get the feedback, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. How do we respond? We've got no process of filtering through or putting something in place to ensure that we can correct whatever the problem may be. Now, Domino's not only listened to the feedback, but they encouraged customer feedback. They asked for it. They provided easy ways for people to provide it. They actually put a way on their app so that you could submit, and they called it their tracker app. And so you could submit your feedback, and it would track all of the feedback that was coming in real time. Domino's expressed, we really want and value your feedback. So I would ask you this question: does your organization have a systematic way for your customers to provide feedback? And if not, I encourage you to implement a very simple way to collect feedback. There are so many different strategies at collecting customer feedback, and I encourage you to use one or many avenues, but make it simple for your customers to provide you that feedback. And then if you do have a process, is it there to look like you care? Or are you actually listening? If you're actually listening and you say, yeah, we really care, we want this feedback, we're listening to what people have to say, well, then what are you going to do with that feedback? How are you going to respond? Do you have systems and structures that are in place to address what it is that you hear? Because all of this is incredibly important. Domino's listened because they cared. Domino's actually had a plan. They had a system and a structure in place for addressing what they heard, and what they did with it was really remarkable. So the second thing is so unheard of. The second thing they did with the feedback is that they were transparent with it. Domino's was very transparent with the feedback that they received. Domino's took all of the feedback that was given, and they did what we would consider to be absolutely unthinkable, especially when you are representing a brand. They were transparent with it. You see, they could have taken the same strategy as most, and they could have worked behind the scenes to try to fix the problem privately while downplaying the problem publicly. But instead, they publicly acknowledged what everyone already knew to be true anyway, and that was that their pizza was bad. They shared the customer feedback. Not only did they receive it, but they shared it. They made it public. They took the customer feedback and they placed it in national ads. They put it out for people to be able to see. They even put it on the Times Square video billboard. And it wasn't good feedback that they were sharing. It was feedback like, the worst excuse for pizza that I've ever had. The taste of its crust is like cardboard. Microwave pizza is far superior. But see, Domino's communicated that this transparency, it wasn't prompted by the crisis in the company, but it was a way to communicate to their customers that they were committed to doing better. Their former CEO, Patrick Doyle, said that we're proving to our customers that we're listening. We're proving that we're listening to them by being brutally accepting to the criticism that's out there. We think that going out there and being honest really breaks through to the people in a way that most advertising does not. Think about that. That's powerful. We feel like just being honest with people, just by being transparent, by saying things that most people won't say, and by the way, that they already know, it has a way to be influential. It has a way to do what normal advertising, the traditional way, just doesn't do it. So I want to encourage you, don't hide from dissatisfied customers in your business. Don't ignore the feedback from the others that you get in your life or in your organization, because transparency, it is such a rarity today. Most of our businesses and our organizations and people, it's all constructed of smoke and mirrors. I mean, none of it, you don't know what to believe. But people appreciate honesty and transparency, and they'll be loyal to your brand when they receive it because they appreciate it that much. And then with the feedback that they received, Domino's, they were trustworthy. They were trustworthy. They asked for the feedback. They presented it to everyone, so everyone knew exactly what the customers were saying. And at that point, the customers were waiting to see, okay, Domino's, what are you going to do with it? Domino's listened to the customer feedback that the pizza was flavorless, that it was bland, that the sauce tasted like ketchup. They were transparent with the feedback, and they were trustworthy with their response. Domino's followed through with their promise to do better, because that was the promise. We want the feedback because we want to do better. So they went all in on committing to completely change a 49-year-old pizza recipe from the ground up. Think about it, a 49-year-old pizza recipe that actually built the Domino's brand, and here they are saying we're going to completely reinvent this pizza. Domino's stated that they dissected the entire pizza, and then from the ground up, they reinvented it from its crust. They tried tons of different sauces and cheese and doughs, and the whole idea was to improve each element of the pizza. And then after they decided on the recipe, they went back through the process of how to cook the new Domino's pizza. And then this entire process, they repeated it all over again. They advertised the new pizza. They asked the customers to try it. And then, again, they asked for feedback. And then with that continued commitment to transparency, they had a live comment tracker on their website where customers could provide feedback uncensored and in real time see the feedback from customers and the comments about the new pizza. They asked food bloggers who had recently criticized the old recipe. They didn't go try to find new people. No, they went back to the ones who had criticized the old recipe, and they asked them to try the new one. Just try it and then provide some honest feedback. And they asked people across social media to do this. They asked customers to do this. You see, they were trustworthy, following through with what they stated they were going to do. And that builds trust. So I ask you this, do your customers or does your customer base find you trustworthy? Do you follow through in a way in doing what you say you're going to do? Are you committed to your customers the way that you want them to be committed to you? Be trustworthy. I mean, what could change in your company or in your organization or in your life if you just simply started listening? Take a look at Google reviews. I always say this is one of the best places to start. Look at the Google reviews and then just see if you can spot a trend. Is there a trend in what people are saying? I mean, listen to what they're saying through those. Listen to what people around you are saying about your organization or about your brand or about your customer service. And then with what you're hearing, see if you notice a trend. Read your social media comments. See if you notice a trend. Just be attentive. Listen. And then with all of that information that you collect, be transparent with your customers. And then be willing to admit when you're wrong or if you're not living to their standards or maybe even your own standards. And then be trustworthy. Be trustworthy by showing your customer base that you listen, that you care, and that you're growing. I love what the Domino's Chief Marketing Officer, Russell Weiner, said. He really said it best when he said, your customers know you have a problem. Better yet, when you know you have a problem, own it, admit it, embrace it, and then fix it. When your customers know you have a problem, or better yet, when you know you have a problem, immediately just own it, admit to it, embrace it, and then fix it. I'm convinced that it's these tiny little details that we're missing in our businesses and in our organizations and in our lives. I believe that these small changes, they make a really, really big difference. And I would love to help you and your organization identify these areas of improvement and help implement ideas that can actually help you improve. You can use the link in the show notes to schedule a free 15-minute personal consultation with me just to see how I can add value to you and to your organization. And I want to say thanks for being a part of the Mind Your Business podcast. This is the podcast for whatever business is on your mind. And I would say if this has added value to you, please take a moment just to like, subscribe, and share. This helps to ensure that we can reach as many people and add as much value as possible. So go order some Domino's, and we'll see you on the next episode.